Since a remake, remaster, whatever the hell they want to call it, of the original Spyro the Dragon trilogy was just announced, I wanted to take a closer look at this trend of beloved PlayStation 1 games, or potentially any Gen 5 game, getting this treatment, as any release or announcement from here on is assuredly going to, or already has, been met with some heated discussion on whether or not it is faithful to the original. However, these aren't exactly remasters, nor are they remakes, and thus what I have to say exists above and beyond the issues of faithfulness, as even if these remake masters, whatever, have been proven highly desired and even successful as shown with the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy? Insane, oh. The existence of them from a fan standpoint seems a bit painful and exploitative. But since people have wanted these, let's look at some reasons why these remakes are desired so badly. 1. The early era of 3D graphics left a lot to be desired, and now with the significant diminishing returns to graphical advancement, a true vision of the game can now be created. 2. People like these games and want to play them again. 3. They represent a more innocent and whimsical time in the player's life, yet inevitably they can't be satisfied with the remaster, as one of the things that made the game so special was the place and time in their life more than the game itself. But hey, here's hoping it'll at least help them forget reality and give them something worth living for, if only for a couple of hours. And 4, in the case of Spyro and Crash, and a ton of other games of that gen, they're, well, a furry. While I find all these reasons reasonable, I still think it's odd as what's being delivered isn't truly a new designed experience. Now for those who have never played the games in the first place, it's a different story, as obviously it would be something new and an easy outlet to finally play the games, especially if they end up deemed faithful. However, unless I'm experiencing a different reality than the one I'm actually in, which some days I think that's the case, the main market for these games is nostalgia-fueled fans, chomping at the bit to sink their teeth into a good version of something they love. But unfortunately, these remake masters prey on that market instead of nurturing them with something more worthwhile. Say like, a new fucking game in the spirit of the originals instead of something being 1/3 remade. So while it might seem nice that something so beloved is given any decent treatment, and by comparison, it probably is, I know, Spyro and Skylanders, even if that's the case, the experience can still be so bitter, since if the player is familiar with the beloved source, when playing these pseudo-remakes, any enjoyment is stifled by the constant compare and contrast to the powerful memories of the original that are impossible to surpass. Even if the remakes masters can be appreciated, even if it's better in some small ways, it can never be as good. Now, I'm unfortunately very jaded, and I hope what I just said isn't as applicable as I believe it to be, and I pray that the people that play these games aren't haunted with such stigmas. However, in the particular case of Spyro the Dragon and the PlayStation 1, creating something that successfully subverts all comparison is nearly impossible, as the graphical quality of that era of consoles left so much to be filled in by the player's mind. Might sound weird. I'm not sure about others, but for myself, memories of such games were often more vivid than they actually were, as the graphics gave off more of an idea than they did actually depict something due to how muddled and obfuscated things were. And in the case of Spyro the Dragon, a series I don't even know what they're about. I haven't even played them that much. The only thing I remember is that the strongest aspect of the game itself was the PlayStation 1, as its graphical rendering weirdly amplified the mysticism, the color, and the atmosphere that the games were steeped in. Once again, I can't say for others, but the environments of Spyro the Dragon felt like dreams. This is the closest thing I've ever seen that is like tangibly a dream. And they were so impactful. Even from the little time I played, to this day I am wrought with this insurmountable desire for games to show less and imply more, since I know my mind will do the rest and leave me with a memory so much more powerful than the actual experience, even though that might be a bit of a monkey's paw. But now when I look at the remake, even if I can appreciate the quality, and I do think it looks pretty good, I can't help but think, Why not just make a new game and spare me the pain, or others the pain? Or why not actually remake one of them under the guise of a reimagining, keeping it similar to the original but the components are used differently to provide a fresh experience? Or add some sort of ubiquitous addition to these remaster pluses just to divert the player away from the constant or at least inevitable comparisons to the maiden voyage. And furthermore, while it probably wouldn't sell as much, the best course of action is to release the 3 original games with updated controls and or updated quality like that of emulation, since that would remove this unfortunate stigmatism of it unable to be as enriching as the original or first experience, as it wouldn't be changed enough to elicit such feelings. Funnily enough, and holy shit it's been a while since I've had context to praise this company, Square Enix released FF7 on PC with this kind of quality, while also developing a real remake of the game, and that's the way to do it. Preserve the original in a high quality version, and remake the original in the spirit of, while still providing a new experience. But there's a greater discussion to be had on whether things should even be remade or not. But I can't wait to play FF7 Remake on my deathbed. Anyway, I have one last ironic note before ending this. I think pretty soon, if not starting already, there's going to be an abundance, or better yet, like an inverse renaissance of games attempting or successfully using early polygonal graphics and low draw distance as an art style to recreate and hopefully emulate the feelings games with such graphics manage with their low visual quality, yet undeniable charm. The irony in all this is that much like desiring a remake or remaster, it may just leave the player unable to enjoy the game for what it is, and instead be bogged down by involuntary comparison to the pseudo-fabrications they cherish. In summary, too long didn't read, don't half remake old shit, just make new ones please.